George Mason said at the Constitutional Convention of 1787, "If I had a vein which did not beat with the love of my country, I myself would open it." Today, we are in a much different situation. The Supreme Court they crafted at that convention now pathologically twists the Constitution. The executive branch they set forth now knows no bounds. Most dreadful, the Congress they created now has precious few defenders of liberty. For these reasons, it is critically important that each and every one of you make a deliberate effort to promote champions of freedom. Safeguarding freedom must become a way of life. I am reminded of Nancy Morgan Hart. Nancy Morgan Hart was a wife and mother to 8 children. While her husband was off fighting in the Revolutionary War, Nancy Morgan Hart was prepared to defend freedom, even at a moment's notice. On one occasion, British soldiers invaded her home and demanded that she prepare a meal for them. Hart complied, but by no means did she surrender. Soon after, she discreetly sent one of her children to alert her husband, and then attempted to remove the soldiers' muskets from the home, only to be noticed. But when noticed, she turned their weapons upon them and subdued them with their own guns. After one soldier started toward her, she shot and killed him. And later, at Hart's suggestion, all the soldiers were hung. It is notable that Nancy Morgan Hart didn't treat defending freedom as something she wrote on her calendar and treated as a chore. She was always ready to defend her freedom. She even turned British troops' guns against them and caused them to submit to her. We must all be watchmen on the wall for liberty, as Nancy Morgan Hart was. Another champion of freedom comes to mind, and he's here even today. State Representative Matt Schaefer relentlessly supported constitutionally conservative principles in Austin this year, including pro-life legislation that would protect the rights of the unborn. This new law would require abortion centers to meet the same standards as ambulatory surgical centers, and it would protect an unborn child at 20 weeks development, at which point it has been scientifically supported that the unborn child can feel pain. In addition, Representative Schaefer has held the line against excessive spending, supported the free markets, and firmly defended the constitutional right to keep and bear arms. Schaefer has been roundly criticized in the press for being the #2 most conservative legislator in the Texas House of Representatives. But that doesn't bother him. He defends our freedom anyway. It is crucial that we promote champions of freedom. It is easier today to get a message out to a large group of people than it ever has been. Many of you have as many Facebook friends as people in this room. A simple tweet can spread the word about a political campaign or threat to freedom that must be addressed. Tell your friends about people like State Representative Matt Schaefer, Congressman Louis Gohmert, and Senator Ted Cruz. Tell students to attend liberty-minded organizations such as Team-Packed leadership schools, where I was trained. The next generation must be prepared to engage in this fight for our freedom. We must all be defenders of our freedom. Samuel Adams believed that we have a moral obligation to preserve the liberty that has been given to us by God. Adams said, "The right to freedom being the gift of God Almighty, it is not in the power of man to alienate it and become a slave." To this American patriot, indifference was not an option. Freedom is a gift from God. Thus, it would be remiss and tragic for us to forfeit it. It is with that attitude I have chosen to support champions of freedom. Will you join me? Thank you.